Good morning, guys. It's been a while. As you may know of my other video, that my computer died, my storage drive died specifically. It wasn't my SSD, which was very fortunate. But I still lost Ark and a few other videos as well, which is a bit unfortunate as well. But at the end of the day, you can only do so much. And well, today, guys, give you another state of the economy. And it's been probably about 2 to 3 weeks since the last one, since one of them was in DreamHack. The other time my computer died. And yeah, basically it's been 2 to 3 weeks. Brelshaza has been released, and a lot of other stuff has been given away as well. And I give eating crow on this episode as well because I said something 3 weeks ago that was a bit incorrect, obviously, but I guess it's a 50-50 win where, like I said, it still wouldn't be worth running the rifts at the same time for tier 3, but at the same time saying that honor shard pouches wouldn't be more than life shard pouches, probably wasn't a great idea. But anyways, guys, let's just get into the nitty gritty. Let's check the buses out, and welcome to State of the Economy. Now, for buses in particular, guys, I'm going to say at this point, given it's been 3 weeks or so, I'm going to say pretty much like Abyssal Dungeons are pretty much dead. You can just run an Express Dungeon. I'm not sure if I should give it much, coverage, given the fact that everyone should be above 1375 by now. I mean, the recent Express events have just, given it the 1370 mark is just not much an issue. You can get to Argos very quickly. Now for the Argos carriers as well, this is going to dry up as well because everyone's getting the new Express event to get to the Legion raid content. Therefore, the old content, people are not going to be needed to be carried through it, and it'll get less and less. Meanwhile, those people that were getting carried through it before will go to the Legion raids. So as you can see here, Argos is just ridiculously cheap. Now you can see here, you got some Valtan raids as well. Valtan's, come down quite a bit. It's looking at Argos prices. But you do see a few, carries here as well. You know how I said that, those Argos and Abyss guys who can't do those dungeons will get carried forward to Valtan and stuff like that. It's already occurring here. Now, you can see here, Vicus has actually dropped from 3k to 2.5k. So I think a lot of people are doing Vicus carries now as well. Like, yeah, that's a lot of Vicus carries. 5 Vicus carries especially as well. Is there any carries for Clown yet? That's the main question, okay? Any carries for Clown? No carries for Clown. At the moment, just trying to check it in if we've got a carry for Clown, because you could always have it, you could always have a carry for Clown, carrying one person. But I said this in previous videos, it's harder to carry one person in a 4-man group than one person in an 8-man group. Now let's just check the currency exchange, and you can see here, ooh, blue crystals have dropped back a bit further, which is great, like really good. Dropping back to 2.8k. Generally, could be started a tier where people are actually actively buying gold, or just the market's getting to that sweet spot where basically it could be where it stays, basically. I mean, previously it got over 3k, and that's pretty much it. Just checking here to see if anything's changed here as well. I've noticed that the blue crystal prices have changed for these on elite bound shots, because usually I believe it was 5 for 10, now being 30 for 45, so it's... I'm not sure if it's just me, but have the blue crystal prices changed on some of these things? Yeah, they have. They've definitely changed. Because used to be like basically certain things with certain prices. So yeah, maybe blue crystal prices for certain goods have gone down, other than Fions, of course, which is everyone's main expense. That's allowed, the blue crystal prices have dropped because of it. But I'm not too sure about it, given that the main prices that people purchase, which is the Fions and the Crystalline Aura, it's still at 850 and 420. So I'm not sure whether it's like, players not playing anymore, or the gold inflation isn't as intense as it was previously, or people are buying more gold because they can get more gold from their royal crystals now. Because that could also be a thing as well. It happens with the WoW token in WoW, where it gets to that midpoint where people are actually gonna, buy a WoW token because they get so much gold from it, or sell a WoW token because they get so much gold from it. Maybe it's at that point where everyone's like, hey, if I could sell, money for gold, let's go for it. So that sort of scenario is happening there. Next up, we've got the honing mats. So we're going to go straight to the AH. The AH here, we're going to go straight to the honing mats. It's good to see that the honing mats are now all in one area. So we're going to hit those leapstones first. So the leapstones at the moment, Harmony, Life, honor shards, and greater honor shards have gone up. And that's kind of normal for Brelshaza. Like, start a raid tier. Everyone knows the Clown. Things went up. Argos, things went up. Abyss Dungeons, things went up. Well, Abyss Dungeons wasn't too much, but, you get my point. Now, next up, we're going to go to Decrystallize Guardian Instruction Stones. You can see here, like, they are dead cheap now. So if you really need to get your tier 3 mats through, I mean, you can probably buy them at this stage. Everything else is 1G too, so pretty cruisy at this stage. Now, next up is going to be fusions, before we get into the pouches. Basically, fusion mats, they're probably good to sell now. I gotta say right now, like good to sell, given the fact they've hit up to 11, so you get a more of a tidier profit out of it as well. So they're probably good to sell or make at this stage, because you know they'll go back down to 9G again, and that's when you probably should like buy a few up and just just basically go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Next up, we're gonna check the solar mats. So solars, basically they're actually the same where I left it, to be honest. The graces, the blessings, the protections. It's like I've never actually gone on vacation, or my computer never actually broke down in those things, in relation to those things. Next up, the one that everyone's waiting for, okay? Or one person's waiting for in particular, because I'm eating crow this episode, get pouches. So Honor Shards pouches are now more than Life Shard pouches, and they're only or more on the legendary stage. The blue stage, I don't understand, but they should be getting pretty close to prices. Here, they're above. Overall, gonna say this trend's probably expected to continue quite a bit, because Brelshaza does need a lot more. I'm not sure if Honor Shard pouches are going to go any higher, like, be substantially higher than Life Shard pouches. You probably want to do a calculation now to decide whether you should get tier 2 maps from Roof Vendor or tier 3 maps. Probably the main sticking point. I would say obviously stick with tier 2 because they're a lot cheaper. You can buy 2 maps rather than just the 1 tier 3 map. I think, like I say, to justify buying a tier 3 map is either you need the shard pouches, or, like, desperately and you don't care about the money, or Honor Shard pouches have to be about 1.75 to 2 times more than the Life Shard pouches. Otherwise, it's just not worth it given the amount of Rift Shards that you're spending on it. So that's my take on that one there. I don't know what your guys' take is, but that's my take on that one, to be honest. It's like, that's what you're going to be basically looking at. Next up, we're going to check out consumables. So consumables, we can check out potions. Potions should be ridiculously expensive at this stage, given the fact... they've gone up slightly, given the fact that's a new tier, and people will be chugging through them like they're mad candy. In before Brelshaza isn't out yet, but consumables, people will be stocking up on it now. Grenades, you can see here they've added this little icon, which is pretty cool. Dark grenades and whirlwind grenades have gone down slightly, and it looks like a lot of people, it looks like there's a bit of oversupply of them as well. And to be fair, I don't blame them, because they're probably the most used potions. Bombs pretty much does stay at the same price too, under 50G, and that's actually really good to see that a lot of people are making those, or a lot of people are keeping those as well. Now we're back here with the mats once again, and tier 2 mats. Dude, I don't understand this. Okay, they're doing it. Someone's trolling me. Okay, someone's trolling me in US West, where like they're going, okay, every Sunday at this time, we know Josh is gonna fucking do his little review of the economy. Let's make sure that tier 2 food is more than tier 3 food. Okay, just to piss me off, because this keeps fucking occurring, okay? Honestly, it keeps bloody occurring. Whereas this tier 3 food is always cheaper than tier 2 food. It's becoming a bit of a joke now, to be honest. Bit of a joke. Next up, we're going to talk about engravings. So, engravings have changed, which sucks, okay? As you can see here, it used to be tradable, but now it's not tradable, okay? Now, I spoiled it just then that engraving prices have gone down. But, yeah, basically, I'm going to say right now, like, engraving prices, especially for the green ones, have gone up substantially for class ones. I'm going to say straight up, I'm assuming the Express event doesn't give class ones, if it's not obvious enough. I'm just going to say right now, there are a lot of areas where you can get green class engravings for trading, like, tokens in. If your class is one of these where they want you paying, goddamn, like, they want you paying $9 grand for just a page... It's just like, yeah, you might as well just go and pick up might as well go pick up those quests and just do them instead. I mean, the time to grind up 9k is probably about like 4 or 5 or 6 hours, in those raid instances. Well, 5 or 6 hours is a bit harsh, okay? Let's just say 1.5 hours, okay? Depending on how quick your static clears content. So we're going to go through all the engravings, because engravings are probably going to be one of the main money makers for some people, or one of the main money drains. But I can say here, like, if you're engraving, like, if your engraving's under, like, 300G overall, it's probably not worth grinding up. You're probably worth just using a weekly gold to get, 20 of it, 6k down the drain. That's pretty much it. But if you don't have your class engravings by this stage, I'm just going to say, unless you're a Reaper, of course, or, Scouter, or as I call it, a Machinist, sorry, Iron Man, maybe is worth it. At this end, I gotta say for the epic books are always gonna be cheap because they just drop non-stop. So pretty much most of your expenses is just gonna be on the blue and green side. Now with the engravings as well, it's actually good to see for the legendary engravings. I guess. Alright, people have reported this AH bug. I guess it's a good, like I gotta say, last time I said it was probably a good time to buy engravings. You know, I said that before when like everything was relatively cheap and you know prices were going down. But like, yeah, I guess, you know, with prices going slightly down, might be an even better time to buy some of these engravings. I mean, Ambush Master's pretty cheap now, Expert's pretty cheap. I did say previously one of the ones were incredibly cheap. Heavy Armor's quite cheap, so if you're at Bard, you probably can get that, pick that one up. You do want to get at least, you know, 2 legendary engravings, so you can go for a, you know, 5x free build. Well, not perfect 5x free build, but a close to, you know, close to 5x free build. So you can see here that the engravings have gone down. I'm not sure if engravings going to go down further. Not terribly too sure if they will or not. It could be the fact that not many people are buying these engravings anymore, given the fact they've already got them. That's another possibility as well. But you can see here that they've gone down quite a bit, and then you can probably just buy a few if you actually need it. Overall, I'm going to say, since you can't flip them anymore, there's no real advice I can really give you on this one. It's like, you just buy it if you need it. But overall, as I said, like, you know, when you could flip them, that can artificially sometimes raise the price. And maybe that's what happened. Or maybe that you can get more legendary books now, which I'm going to say the more likely one is. Because the Express event generally awards some legendary books as well. But just an FYI, I have not gone into the Express event yet. Okay. So overall, I'm going to say, you know, they've gone down. I'm going to say probably more legendary books are out. Or, you know, people have already got them. Probably a combination of both. Pets and skins. So pets and skins is generally a test for the market, okay? So if you ever want to test the market of how gold's going, pets and skins are generally your #1 dream, okay? So the platinum ones haven't moved too much. In fact, the platinum ones have fallen over quietly. Like that one, I'm a bit surprised, I'm going to say right now, that one is 123k. Interesting. I know because he doesn't have the weapon set in it. And you can see the Lawmaker ones, I gotta say, they've pulled back slightly, but you can see like the older ones selling for a bit less, but overall 48k, 47k. So you can see the gold market's around that ballpark range. Pets a similar thing as well, where like, you know, it's in a similar range. There's a few here. I gotta say that they've dragged back a bit. Okay, maybe not. People are offering Jameis for a lot higher now as well, but to be fair, Jameis is just a one-off rarity. It's just shown that the gold price and the blue crystal price in the Mara store, you know, I expect it to just stay the same, given the fact that the blue crystal prices stay the same. And I guess it's somewhat stayed the same, so no real changes in the blue crystal or raw crystal market, therefore no real changes in the pets and skin market either, as far as I know, unless it's a rarer skin where you can't really get it until the next year kind of thing, as you saw there with the Lawbringer outfit. Next up, we're going to go to the AH, and AH is going to go to the gems. So the gems is probably one of our areas that we're probably going to be studying the most, because gems are truly outrageous, as said Tarek. But nah, so gems, basically, a lot of people are now selling I think some level 9 gems being sold. Now, looking at the gems, I think that's the wrong area, right? There we go. Yeah, I thought it was weird, because I'm like, 27k, they could have gone that much. Gems have gone down slightly, and gems are kind of like engravings as well. It's like when you get level 7 gems, generally you can transfer them between accounts if you have to. But at the end of the day, with gems, is that if people go a full level 10 setup, they actually don't need the level 7s anymore. And basically, and also if people quit as well, that they don't need the level 7s either. So eventually it gets to a point where everyone who's at the high tier content's got all level 10s, and people who don't. And, you know, they don't really need it either. I'm not seeing any level 10 gem sign. Oh, there we go. 250. That's only for Deadeye, though. We can just go for all 30 level 10 gems are selling. Oh my god. Well, if you want to buy gold to get a full level 10 setup, there you go. You can use the silver to just re-roll it into whatever you want. Given that people are selling level 10 gems now for 229k, I can see why level 7, level 8, level 9 gems have gone down in price, because yeah, people would probably just buy the big kahunas and just re-roll it with silver instead. To be fair, you probably need silver for honing as well. I don't know. Now let's get to the ability stones. I'm probably expecting also untradeable and purchase as well, if you notice that one. Seems like a lot of them on trade on purchase. Did they change the gear to be also BOE? I think that's just ability stones in general. I gotta say with ability stones. Geez, a lot of bids on these ability stones. There's the gold ceiling one of 250k. Okay, so what we got here? So a lot of Curse Doll, Ambush Master, a lot of the top combat ones, including Emergency Rescue, which is a bit odd. Hitmaster. So you can see here a lot of the very, very good ones are, up for sale for high ones where people's best in slot stats. I mean, Adrenaline is one of them that's common that everyone's paying a lot for because all the DPS classes require it. Overall, ability stone prices, like, they've really realistically stayed the same. I think it's getting to the point as well where everyone's like got all these. I guess say ability stone price is probably going to stay the most consistent, given the fact that if people might be trying to get the 9/7 ability stones, which is like 1.1% chance, and they probably just dump their money into this at this stage, given the fact they're getting a lot of gold, and there's nothing really to upgrade it afterwards. So we got some, more relics here. As you can see here, got a new. Well, that's actually pretty cool. I completely forgot about these coming out, the heroes, exquisite, stuff like that. So it allows people to get their tripods and stuff like that as well. I completely forgot that's what came out. The amulet, the armor as they call it. So you can get an extra set of tripods. Pretty awesome, actually. Can we use a skill tree material? So this is what they've introduced in the end for it. Cool. But anyway, let's get back to the accessories, okay? I was actually curious what they did with tripods actually, but now we found out. So with gear, go check that out as well before we go. Expert Awakening, Hunger, Cursed Doll. Jeez, I'm surprised something people are bidding that one up, given it's only a free. Like, when you get a bit surprised, like, it's a free item and people are trying to get a 70k for it. It's just like, mate, like, no one's going to pay 78k for it. It's not a 5 free where people want. Like, I know you may want it for, like, a straight-up dexterity upgrade or strength upgrade, but I just don't think it's worth it in the end. Jeez, a lot of people putting the bids up. I'm at this stage where I'm just like, fuck it. There we go. Let's check the top end prices here. Surge, Curse or Grudge. I gotta say, we're not seeing a lot of, okay, never mind. I was gonna say, we're not seeing too much class engravings here, but now we go, there's a lot of class engravings. Luna Voice as well. I gotta say with this at this stage, class engravings are still pretty much in demand at the moment as well. And also at the same time with, also them being in demand as well. A lot of the, like basically you have, pretty top tier stats. And I gotta say this one, people trying to sell it for 300k for a low quality. I'm not sure of how many people are going to purchase. I think, if you're going to offer 300k for anything, it's going to be high quality. These accessories have gone up. I think a lot of people are preparing or getting loot for Brelshaza at the moment as well. So basically these prices will go up. Overall, I'm going to say, basically if you've got a good item that has a good combat stat, obviously best in slot, secondary stat, and it's fire free with a good combat stat and class stat, you can probably, chuck this on for quite a bit, like 150k, 200k, and it will probably sell. And overall with accessories, I can see why it's beginning to heat up as well with the selling, because I think at this stage everyone's looking for that little accessory upgrade. It's not accessory upgrade at this stage, because there's not really much to spend your money on when you've got all your gear upgraded to, get ready for Brelshaza next year and stuff like that as well. Now, I did just get confirmation that Brelshaza comes out. That Brelshaza comes out, I believe. Next, I think Brelshaza comes out this week, I believe. Let me just double check that before I completely forgot, like, whether it comes out this week or next week. But even Brelshaza does come out, so, you know. No, it's gonna be in January. Okay, so it hasn't come out yet. Well, either way, I'm gonna say right now, guys, like, you know, probably prepare for Brelshaza at this stage. Probably explains why everything's so cheap. I'd say just prepare for Brelshaza, get your consumables ready and stuff like that as well. I was under the impression that Brelshaza came out in December. Because I thought it came out over Dragonflight Dreamhack to try and compete for that spot, but Brelshaza probably release into the 17th, and, you know, basically you got a bit of time to just build up your stash, build up your money as well, ready for it. For Brelshaza as well, we'll get into it next week of what you need to prepare for. A lot of people have been saying aim for 1505, so you can upgrade to 1520 with the infused Stones. Or I forget what those Stones are called. I can probably check my inventory because I've got a whole bunch of them in here as well. The fusion stones, because you can convert them to the higher tier, and you can put yourself over the line. Where are they actually? I'm trying to find the. I think they're in my. Oh, there we go. Infused Leapstones. You can probably get a whole bunch of them, and then get yourself over the line. Okay, by merging them over and then honing the pieces, then use your honing mats to get yourself over the line even further for 1520 for Brelshaza, so you can go from 1 to 6 in a week. Overall, I've got to say the market has been pretty stagnant, pretty iffy, as you notice from all the gold prices and blue crystal prices. It's probably very good for the game that the blue crystal prices have gone down, you know, by a bit. But, you know, we'll see what happens. Hope you guys enjoy Brelshaza. And, well, not yet, because I am going to be doing videos still. But I hope you guys have a great Christmas as well, if I don't see you guys again. And if you guys have a happy new year as well, if you don't tune in over the Christmas period. See you guys later. Peace out.